Okay, something a little bit different for the channel. I don't usually do this sort of thing, but I have been asked questions about some of the equipment I use, and this in particular became a problem for me when I upgraded to the Osmo Action 6 because I started recording video in 2K, and I could go to 4K, and then with a firmware upgrade, I guess you can do sort of 8K in that. But I wanted to go to 2K, and because when I had the Hero, the GoPro, it was terrible, even at 1080p, and so I shot at 1080p because battery life sucked. So it going to 2K on the GoPro would have been so bad in terms of battery life. And anybody who has spent time on the channel knows that I drop stuff all the time. I mean, the camera would just piss out. So I got into a problem. I was usually running everything off a hard drive. I had a specific hard drive, about the fastest hard drive I had. And then when I moved to 2K and I started chopping stuff up in Final Cut Pro, it would be difficult. It'd be arduous. So I had to get something different that would be able to render 2K video in particular. And then something came on sale. As you can see on the screen here, I'm going to be talking about the Ministack STX from Otherworld Computing or MacSales.com. And I did not buy it for $249. This is Thunderbolt 4, so it's now old technology, but it still runs at a pretty high clip, and that clip is well, you know, I mean, it worked. Let me put it that way. I had an extra hard drive hanging around, a decent one, 8 terabyte hard drive. And so I picked it up, and this is the box it came in. It was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be honest with you. The Ministack STX. It's if I scroll down here, I got it for $199, by the way. So, and by the way, that is down from the original price. I think it started out at $299, something like that. So basically $100 off. So it was a screaming deal, and so I got it for the sole reason that I could, is what you see on your screen here. I could put in a hard drive, which I did, but also this little baby right here, which is an NVMe. And this is what I'm running all my video off of. Now, if you know anything about what's going on, especially with the shortage of memory in the country because of all the AI data centers that they're building all over the place, it has made the cost of a lot of electronics shoot through the roof. So, you know, you could be spending hundreds up to $1,000 for a 2 terabyte, for example, NVMe. And I did get a 2 terabyte NVMe. I got a Samsung NVMe. That was 41% off. So I got it for, and even then it was $600, almost $700 for it. And I got it for around $300. Upper threes, but I got it for under $400. And so I tried it out because I had no way to render without it. Now, what I want to say about the Ministack is that, yeah, it's old technology in some way. And one of the things I'm going to point out here, the reason why I got the Samsung NVMe is because of this number right here that I've highlighted. I should probably bring it up for you now. So this is the one. This is the one I got, and I got it for, actually I got it for that price. So now you can see the read speeds are 7450, and on the Ministack STX, it can go to 77. So it wouldn't have done me any benefit to get a higher speed NVMe. I probably could have found a 77, but the deal on the Samsung was so good. And there's a lot of cheap crap out there that just, it doesn't work. You could get something for $200 and they make all these wild claims. So a lot of the stuff on the market right now is cheap crap. So I went with something that was more or less reliable, did have some negative reviews over there, but I've been using it for a week right now, chopping up a pretty significant video that I'm going to post on my latest trip down to the property. And it's been working like a dream. It took me some time to move everything over through rsync from the slow hard drive to the very speedy NVMe. But in the end, it really worked. So I just wanted to say a thumbs up for one to OWC for their Ministack STX. For my purposes, it works great. There's a studio stack that's out now. That's Thunderbolt 5. That is pretty damn good and a lot faster than the Ministack, but I didn't need it. And I should probably preface all this by saying that I really started looking at this stuff before I got the Osmo Action 6, because I'm going to upgrade from a MacBook Pro, which I have, to a Mac Studio. And the reason for that is because I'm dealing in video now that is so demanding on the CPU and the memory that the laptop has a hard time of churning through all of that rendering. So, but this has solved the immediate problem. It'll pair well with my Mac Studio. And then, sometime down the road, maybe I'll get the Studio Stack as well, which is pretty sweet. But anyway, just I wanted to give a shout out to OWC. And also, to be honest with you, the Samsung 990 Pro that I got is so far working very well. It if you go on, there's not much of a fish hook here, and usually what you look at with these things is if there's a fish hook that sort of curls around, you got a lot of 5 stars, and then you see the lower stars hook out, then be a little wary. And there's certainly some people here who are in the 1-star category who complained about it, that it didn't work. But again, so far for me, the Samsung SSD 990 Pro is working really well, and so is my my hard drive. Now, but let me do one more thing for you. I might as well do this. I decided I wanted to test, after I started doing this, I decided I wanted to test all of my hard drives if I could. So let me just drag this baby over here and give you a real, in real time sort of look at what the speeds we're looking at from the Studio Stack are. Now, I have the Studio Stack pretty much going directly from it right into the computer off a Thunderbolt cable. I also have an OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock. I'm not hooked into that. I'm just hooked right in to my laptop. So I have two connections in my laptop: the Thunderbolt 3 dock from OWC and the Ministack STX. So this is the hard drive. Let's go ahead and look. Now, this actually, if you get around 200 on read and write for a hard drive, it'll do okay in Final Cut Pro on a hard drive to not lose your frames and whatnot when you're running through the creation you're putting together in video in Final Cut Pro. But so 186 on the hard drive, and then the read is a little bit slower, I think. Nope, it's going to go higher. But not bad. At 187, that's, for the hard drive I have, that's pretty good. There's nothing to complain about, really. Now, I would say this, that at 2160, this says it doesn't really work on ProRes or H.265. Does it say that? No, it does that. So yeah, it did well for me using a hard drive before I got the Ministack in there. But the thing is, it would still occasionally messed up. You can see the second time around I'm going quicker. So it's about anywhere between 180 and 200 on my 8 terabyte hard drive. Now, let's go to the NVMe here for a minute, and I'll show you what the Blackmagic Design speed test does. I mean, it's like night and day. So remember, it said it's somewhere around 770, something like that. And I'm definitely getting that on read, as you can see here with my NVMe, my Samsung Pro. So anyway, a shout out to Samsung, and really a nice job by OWC, especially on sale. You know, they'll start clearing these things out pretty soon. The form factor of the Ministack STX is about the same as a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio, so it would fit right on top or below it, whatever, if you wanted to stack those two on your desktop. All right, anyway, I hope that was helpful. Hang loose.